7 races to go now to the beginning of the playoffs in the Cup Series. So it's crunch time. It's time to go. And Brad Daugherty, look at the standings here. You see who's in. They are in yellow. That includes your driver, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., so no pressure there for you. But look at the cut line between McDowell and Wallace. There are 5 drivers, 2 above, 3 below, within 26 points of each other. Talk about pressure. I mean, every week now it seems like we're talking about it, but this cut line is unbelievable right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you look at those guys right below there. I mean, you know, Bubba Wallace has not had the year that he was hoping to have. A.J. Allmendinger has run better over the past several weeks. And Ty Gibbs is starting to put himself kind of in the mix of things. So anything can happen with those guys. Austin Cindric as well has not been able to get it to victory lane, has struggled just a little bit. So I could see a win coming from one of those guys, no doubt about it. And then you look at Chase Elliott. He's in the position where he's going to have to point himself in, possibly. I don't think that's what he wants to do. He obviously is talented enough and has a good enough team. He wants to win races, but he's capable because of the previous 2 races at Chicago, and before he was able to gain about 29 points coming into Atlanta over those 2 races. And so he's well on his way, but he needs to win. And it's going to happen, I do believe. He's just too talented. So a lot can happen over these next several weeks. We could see multiple winners. We could see different winners. You just don't know, but you know everyone's going to put their best foot forward. So the competition is going to be off the charts.
Yeah, this is just such a battle. It's just incredible. And every time that it looks like someone has a little bit of momentum, they have something happen, whether it's of their own making or they find themselves at the wrong place at the wrong time and losing points. It's just incredible, the back and forth between these drivers and teams. And I'm going to look at Michael McDowell here. I think this is one of the greatest stories that we have talking about the playoffs here this year in 2023. Just the job that he's been able to do at so many different type of tracks. And I'm going to say this. I think the next 3 races for Michael McDowell are crucial to figure out how they can stay in the mix. Yes, there's an opportunity coming at a number of tracks, but for him to possibly win because he performs well on the road courses. He has a couple of those, and then, of course, Daytona to end the regular season. We know that he's a Daytona 500 champion, so those things are there. But if he wants to stay in the battle for the points, this weekend, Loudon, Pocono, and Richmond are just crucial for this driver and this team. They have to figure out a way. These aren't their strongest points as far as what they do well. And so they have to figure out a way to keep themselves in the mix, somehow gathering some stage points if they can do that, or making a strategy that finds their driver and putting their driver in the right spot at the right time late in these races to have some good things to happen. So you look at all around that, we've got A.J. Allmendinger that is proving that he can win anywhere pretty much. And so, you talk about road course racing. You always think about AJ being able to get a win. The same at Daytona with him, as you would all of these drivers. Bubba Wallace has a couple of races coming up that he needs to perform at his best. And when I talk about at his best, I mean at his win level best. And he's able to do that. What we've seen from Justin Haley recently, you can't count this young man out. What a really good job he's doing. So this is going to be a lot of fun. And if we want to get away from the bubble talk, we can go to the regular season points champion. And William Byron set himself up with that win at Atlanta, right as the leader of that right now. And that's worth 15 bonus points for the playoffs. So you look in that direction. There's a battle at the top and just trying to get in.
Dale, that makes perfect sense. The first time that Byron has been the regular season points leader. So that was a big weekend, a big win for him. Let me ask you this, though. His teams, as I check in with them on the weekend, they so often say, we're not going to do anything different. If we're running well, we're going to just keep doing what we're doing, and we are going to make the playoffs just by doing that. I mean, there are things they can do, right? There are differences that they can make, choices they can make. What do teams do differently when they're on that bubble or above or below the cut line right there?
Yeah, I think there's some strategy plays that may be coming, especially when you look at at New Hampshire here. We've got a new tire that Goodyear says it's going to be have a little more grip, but it's also, when you get grip, you wear the tires out quicker. And this is a place that once you start slipping and sliding around, then the driver's going to be wanting to know, when are we pitting next? And track condition of utmost importance. So that could be a strategy play for someone. Pocono, always fuel mileage there in strategy. Yeah, you need a fast car, but these drivers have that, all of them that we're talking about. So a lot of things happening there. So there will be some strategy opportunities, I think, and some people are going to have to take some chances along the way. Yeah, I realize that you don't want to take a possible, 10th, 12th place finish and trying to get a second or third or possible win and end up finishing 25th. But somewhere along the way, there's going to be some people on the outside looking in when we finish Daytona on that Saturday night. So I think you have to take some chances. And, we haven't even talked about Chase Elliott here. And I know Brad mentioned a while ago about that he can point his way in. I think last weekend at Atlanta, with no better performance than that was, I think that ended their run of trying to get in on points. Obviously, still mathematically possible. But Chase is the one driver in all of this mix that can win at any of these tracks. And not everyone else can say that. They have specific tracks they have to work at. Can they somehow put this together? I'm not seeing it right now, but the capabilities and the talent is there if he's going to get into the playoffs. And this is huge, Brad. You were talking about Hendrick Motorsports and what they need to do. Their two biggest sponsored cars with Chase Elliott and with Ally also there with Napa and Ally with Alex Bowman. They need to have these cars and these sponsors in the playoffs somehow, some way.
Yeah, that would be huge if they did not make the playoffs. And there's a ton of pressure there. And then if you really think about it, look at these guys who are hovering, who haven't won races, and Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher, Daniel Suarez. I mean, there's going to be a couple. There's one of these guys, or maybe two of these guys, going to win a race. There's just no way we get through the season without it. So that furthermore puts more pressure on Chase and Alex Bowman. Chase, like you say, though, is the one guy of the whole pile that can win at any racetrack. But I'll tell you this: you don't want to get to Daytona having to have Daytona make the decision for you on a point situation. You have to go out and try to win these races. And I agree with you, DJ. You've got to take some chances, because trying to do it on points, you come to Daytona, you got to do it on points. That's a long, long evening.
Yeah.
Guys, appreciate it. Sunday, 2 Eastern on USA Network. We'll see how it shakes out.